Good evening, everyone. My name's Angie Kurosaka. On behalf of the Nominations Committee, I welcome you to the webinar for Meet the Candidates. We have 6 candidates in 1 hour, so we have a lot to get through. Each person will be allotted 3 minutes to introduce themselves and state why they decided to run for office. Following that, each candidate will be asked 2 questions. Each candidate will have a response of 2 minutes or less. And then we'll have a little bit of time left where I will ask them a specific question relative to the role that they're running for on the board of directors. Finally, if you have a question, please put it in the Q&A session. If we have time, we'll try to get to some of those questions. If time is not on our side, we will record all of the questions, allow each of the candidates to respond, and put the results on the website and on some of our social media so that you all have an opportunity to have your questions answered. With that, we are ready to go. So Molly, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi. First, happy Nephrology Nurse Week, and thank you for coming tonight and for your commitment to nephrology nursing. I'm Molly Cahill. I am a nephrology nurse with many years of experience and a nurse practitioner for the last 20. Currently, I work part-time in value-based care in private practice. I'm running for president because I'm deeply committed to continuing to advance nephrology nursing. I believe it's essential to ensure that our profession remains strong, impactful, and well prepared for the future. Having grown up in the association, being a member for over 40 years, and having served in various leadership roles, I feel ready to lead. My goal is to work with the teams and committees of nephrology nurse leaders to focus on mentorship, advocacy, education, and equity. I also want us to be prepared for ongoing changes, including expanded processes of value-based care linked to outcomes. Throughout the evening, I'll share some of my ideas on important topics like workforce shortage, advocacy, and education, but I'll defer the remainder of my time to the other candidates. Thank you for your time and the opportunity to speak to you tonight.
Thank you, Molly. Jennifer?
Hi, I am Jennifer Varenchuk, and I want to echo Molly. Happy Nephrology Nurses Week. I have been a nephrology nurse for 37 years, and I've been an advanced practitioner. I've been in every setting except pediatrics. I've been a member of A&A since 1992. I think I had a couple laps there on paying some dues, but I've been part of an A&A for a long time. I currently am the chair designate for the Health Advocacy and Health Policy Committee. I'm the administration's been best practice advisor and Amy's liaison, the Amy liaison for A&A. In my real work life, I am the co-owner and chief operating officer of National Dialysis Accreditation Commission. If you'd asked me a year ago that I'd ever work or be part of the board, I'd say absolutely not. So what changed my mind? Um, I feel that we are really, as nurses and even as professional organizations, we're at a crossroads. It could be due to a complexity of regulations. We've got value-based care now. We have innovations and we have policies that's really transforming the way that we deliver care. And I think as a nursing organization, we have to learn to adapt to what is going on and change our advocacy efforts, our education and support to make sure that we are empowered as nurses and as an organization to embrace those changes. I'm also passionate about building a stronger, inclusive support system within nephrology nursing. I think ANNA has has great initiatives, and I really want to continue to build on those efforts as an organization and being a part of the board. Also, being part of the advocacy and health policy committee, I see that there's other organizations trying to make decisions for us and us not having a voice at the table. So I think it's really important that we have a seat at the table and that we're driving our own narratives. People that know me, they know I lean into challenges and opportunities, and I'm excited to do that. And lastly, I have created 3 companies, one of them being a nonprofit. So I think I bring a unique perspective from that, and I just am excited to continue to have ANNA be fiscally agile. And I understand balance sheets, I understand P&Ls, and so I'm excited to work with Molly as being the past national treasurer, and I'm looking forward to being part of the board, and I thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you very much. I wasn't expecting the music, but that's awesome. Leah, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Absolutely. Thank you, Angie. And happy Nephrology Nurses Week. I think we'll probably all be echoing that. What a unique week for us to be doing this. Today is my 24th anniversary as a nephrology NP. My journey to nephrology began with my father. He was a post-Vietnam Agent Orange exposed veteran who came back from war with pancreatic failure and ultimately developed kidney failure. Despite being diligent in his care, and he was the most compliant patient, honestly, I've ever known, he was never told that his kidneys were failing. I watched my family struggle as we watched my dad slam into dialysis. We kind of call that crashing into dialysis now. But we didn't get proper education. There was not a CKD clinic structure. I saw the lows of him being on dialysis in the early 90s, and I saw highs and lows of a 15-year transplant journey. And that experience shaped me. I knew nephrology would be my life's calling. Over the last 24 years, I've devoted myself to my career, closing gaps that I saw was in my dad's journey, creating one of the first nurse practitioner-led CKD clinics in the country. That clinic now serves over 30,000 patients. I was able to build and currently lead the largest group of APPs in the country. We're at 46. We're at 41 nephrologists, so we outnumber them in our practice, I love that. I think it's cool. And I co-founded a national educational company that not only did I co-found, but I created the curriculum myself. We have 2 flagship programs called Ready for Rounds and Cleared for Clinic, and they were designed to bridge the gap where APPs were entering into the field of nephrology and help cover the shortage of nephrologists that we're all seeing now. It's also been my honor to serve professionally on multiple different nephrology leadership boards or just in leadership positions. I am currently the past chair of the ANNA Conferences Committee, which has been such a love of my life, meeting so many friends through that and helping create curriculum. I've also served as the past chair and the current CE chair in the National Kidney Foundation, working with the RPA to create an APP role there and being the only nurse practitioner on a specific ASN committee. And I think these uniquely position me to help ANNA connect its mission with other partnering organizations. And ANNA has been like a family to me, and I know many of you probably feel that way. And I joined over 20 years ago, and they have given me countless opportunities to grow and serve. So running for director is my chance to give back and hopefully continue to help mentor the next generation. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Leah. Louisa?
Hi, everybody. My name is Louisa Freiberger. I am running for the director position on the national board. I have been in dialysis just a little over 17 years. Started out in Indiana actually as an emergency room nurse and, saw the people going in and doing these treatments, while we were taking care of patients. And I just became fascinated by it. Decided to switch careers, got into dialysis. And in 2012, I moved to Alaska. And when I came here, I realized there were not a lot of resources as far as nephrology, and that's what led me into ANNA. I was able to kind of go in and really learn, and through mentorship, I met some amazing people, and I just fell in love with the organization. And several years ago, I was able to join the conferences committee and give my insight coming from being just an RN and a CDN. So I bring a perspective of taking a platform to represent those ASN, ADN nurses to show that, you know, we have voices, and to further myself to strive to go back to school to educate, but continue to network and advocate. So that is my goal for getting on the board and trying to just advocate. I love the goals and the strategic plan, and hope that I can bring a voice. And even being on the conferences committee, that has opened my horizon to so many new things and the opportunities that are out there, and getting to go to Washington, D.C. and getting to advocate. I have met some amazing people, and I just am ready to keep moving forward as much as I can. And I appreciate you all. So thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Melanie?
Good evening. My name is Melanie Kreitzer. It recently was Harper, so you might recognize that name. And I am passionate about ANNA. I have been a member of ANNA since 1996, and I got my certified nephrology nurse since 1999. And I got into nephrology nursing shortly after I graduated from nursing school, and it was absolutely love at first sight. I loved everything about the kidneys. I had amazing mentors who taught me, showed me the way, and also shared with me their passion for ANNA. Over the course of my 30 years in nephrology nursing, I have had experience in all modalities, transplant, administration, acutes, hemodialysis, peritoneal dialysis, and currently I am a central anemia manager. I've loved every single role that I've been in. And with ANNA, I've had the opportunity to get to learn and to grow through the organization. I recently was on the conferences planning committee, where I learned a ton and met a lot of people and was mentored by many of them. I also am on the Educator Specialty Practice Network, where I am the best practice advisor in that committee right now. I also have the opportunity to be a reviewer of the core curriculum that's coming out, as well as a manuscript review on that panel with the American Nephrology Nursing Journal. I am absolutely passionate about ANNA. I'm a lifelong learner. I love to teach, and I love to mentor. And also, the main reason why I'm running for the board, along with all the others, is I am a nurse, and I feel that there needs to be representation of all of the professions in our organization, not only nurse practitioners or the doctors, but also us nurses, who definitely are a big part of the care of our patients. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to answering more questions the remaining evening.
Thank you so much. And last but not least, so you'll see the lineup a little bit differently throughout the questions, but we have Nakia.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for this opportunity to be able to address you all. For those who do not know me, my name is Nakia Davis. I am a part of the Michigan 312 chapter here in Michigan. I currently serve as the current president. I have 26 years of nephrology experience. My career started out as a dialysis technician. Currently, I'm a nurse practitioner in the Metro Detroit area. And I have a deep passion for nephrology. My sister is a kidney and pancreas transplant recipient. And through her, I've learned how young adults deal with kidney disease, which gave me a better understanding of what our patients go through on a day-to-day basis. So before my sister was diagnosed with kidney disease, I was already working in dialysis. So I always say that I didn't choose dialysis or a career in kidney care, but I feel like that career chose me. I am committed to fostering a culture of collaboration, transparency, and accountability on the national board. By working together, we can ensure that ANA contributes to the leading voice of nephrology care. And I forgot to mention, I am running for the national director position. I believe my experience, collaborative experience, and strategic vision are what's needed for our national board to be able to face these evolving challenges that we have. Our organization is at a pivotal moment. We must continue to build our legacy of excellence while also adapting to the new technologies, addressing emerging issues in healthcare, and fostering new generations of leaders. Thank you for your time.
Wonderful. Well, as you all can see, we have a very esteemed panel of candidates and the nominations committee. I'm the current chair. Sharon Longton is going to be taking my place next year, but it's been an honor to work with the nominations committee to bring you this wonderful panel of candidates. So with that, we'll move into the next section of the webinar. I will ask each candidate one question. We'll start with Molly and Jennifer, and then when I start with the directors, we'll change the lineup a little bit. So the question is, describe how you will advance the strategic plan of ANNA to help the board of directors meet their goals. Molly?
Thank you. One way to advance the strategic plan and meet the goals of the association is to address the ongoing nephrologist shortage by empowering nephrology nurses to advance their practice. Providing them with the necessary resources, educational opportunities, and support is critical to expanding access to care and improving patient outcomes. I'm committed to developing programs, scholarships, and initiatives that encourage nephrology nurses to grow their practice and confidently assume expanded roles. Supporting these nurses through targeted mentoring, preceptorships, and access to comprehensive resources will help them to navigate diverse practice and regulation restrictions across the country. Achieving full practice authority for APRNs is especially in the context of this shortage. It's essential for ensuring equitable care and equitable access to care in nephrology arena. Advocacy remains at the heart of our mission. I'll work diligently to ensure that RNs are recognized as a vital member of the dialysis and nephrology care team. It's crucial that the organizations like ANNA continue to serve as a strong voice in health policy, advocating for policies that enable nurses to practice to their full training and expertise.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. All right, Jennifer, you're up.
Hi. So, from the treasurer perspective, I'm going to talk about how we would support the strategic plan from a financial perspective, and hopefully, I will have a voice to be able to, with the board, to influence how we allocate funds for the strategic plan. Specifically with education, I think it's important that we have the funding to make sure we have meaningful meetings, webinars, educational or training initiatives for all members. I think it's important that we give grants, scholarships so that they have that ability to attend. Also, looking at our education from a return on investment, are those initiatives meaningful to our membership? And if they're not, how do we change those? Advocacy, as I mentioned, I'm really passionate about that. So making sure that we have the funds to ensure that we have a voice in DC, that we are promoting legislation that is important to us as nephrology nurses and as nursing as a whole. Let's see, what we were networking, I think it's important that we have the ability to collaborate all year long, and that could be at the chapter level. of being able to ensure that our members have the funding to engage with one another, have mentorship, making sure that we have affordable attendance opportunities for our members, continue to leverage technology investment for our online communities so that again, we are able to communicate with each other year round. And science, that's easy, making sure that we have scholarships, grants to ensure that we have the funds to take to for future nephrology nursing research.
Thank you so much. All right, Nakia, we're going to start with you this time.
Thank you. So if I'm elected, my goals are focused on 3 areas: enhancing membership engagement. I work to strengthen communication between the national board and our local chapters to ensure every member feels that their voice is heard, which is very important. This means utilizing platforms such as ANA Connected and improving outreach to our members in all practice settings. Next, I want to focus on champion innovation and research. I know that's kind of our theme this year, innovate to elevate. The landscape of nephrology is constantly changing. So I want to be an advocate in stimulating and supporting our cutting edge research in nephrology and ensuring our members across the US has the latest educational resources and so they can stay in the forefront of their nursing practice. And then lastly, I want to advocate for our profession. I will work tirelessly trying to elevate the profile of nephrology nursing. I'm doing it at work, I'm doing it in the community on the behalf of individuals, families, and communities affected by kidney disease, which my family is one of those, families. So this includes educating on the state and federal level of policymakers who play a vital role in our rules and regulation that has to do with patient care and just nursing overall. Thank you.
Wonderful, thank you. Melanie?
Thank you. So as we know, there are 4 focus areas with the strategic plan, and they are in the education, advocacy, networking, and science. And I am very passionate about education. Currently, I am a member, like I mentioned before, in the Specialty Practice Network, where we'll be working to update the fact sheets. We also collaborate and work together to put together an education session for the members and also the attendees at the symposium in the spring. Education is very, very important to make it accessible to our members as well as non-members. Networking and mentoring, I also feel is very important. I love to mentor. I love to teach the younger nurses the things that I have learned and to help them fall in love with nephrology nursing. As we know, there is a severe nursing shortage. Locally, I am the treasurer, and I also do a lot of organization for our chapter as far as education meetings monthly. We work together, but we feel that it's very important that we provide education on a monthly basis to our meetings. Personally, I love to learn. I recently enrolled in an RN to BSN program to better myself, and I'll be completing in December. And if it weren't for ANA to have the opportunity that they gave me with scholarships to fulfill this dream, it would have been a lot more difficult for me to do that. So I am so grateful for ANA, and I want to play it forward and also educate others and let them know about the opportunities with ANA out there to better ourselves and to gain more education. And thank you very much.
Thank you. Louisa?
Yeah, so one of the things that I look at out of those 4 focus areas, of course, education, advocacy, and networking. education as well. I am one of 2 educators for the entire state of Alaska. So I learned very quickly the value of bringing information to people, especially when I cover clinics that are, could be 1,000 miles away. So, being able to network with other nurses across the state, and plus learning the value of being able to use technology to be able to give education and to give information through very, very long distances is huge. Getting the opportunity, once again, advocacy, that was a huge eye opener for me when I went to Washington. I was the first representation from Alaska, I think, in over a decade to go up there. So I learned very quickly that there are a lot of opportunities that can take place, and, being in such a large area and not having much resources really has opened my eyes to, hey, I can have a voice. I can really show what can happen when you have these resources and have all of these things at your fingertips. Also, we don't have a chapter in Alaska, so having to go to our neighboring chapters has been huge, but once again, a very big eye opener of there's a lot of work to do. And so that's my goal, is to help fill those gaps and have a voice for those areas that don't have a lot of resources. So thank you.
Thank you. Leah?
Thank you again, Angie. So for me, advancing the strategic plan as a director on the board means staying focused on governance, aligning our resources with our mission, and ensuring that the board supports the work of our committees and all of our members in a way that would drive impact. In education, I bring the perspective of someone who has built onboarding programs and national curriculums. So I feel that I can help ANNA efforts to really expand innovative learning in our platforms, aligning with member needs, supported by the right partnerships, and ultimately making content more accessible to all of our nephrology nurses. When I think about advocacy, my experience serving in multiple national nephrology organizations and even presenting a lot, I think it's like 80 plus is what I counted when I was putting this together. I think that has given me a broad network and visibility that I could utilize to help ANNA strengthen its voice and ensure that our members are represented in key policy discussions that occur across this nation. And then that leads us into networking. Leading the largest team of APPs in the country in nephrology has taught me how to connect roles, generations, as I feel like I'm in the older generation now, and even in practice settings. And so I can help ANNA continue to be a home for nurses. And then last but not least, I'm a scientist, in making sure that we keep things evidence-based, and as a director, helping ensure that these priorities and resources stay evidence-based focused. And so I think my leadership experience and those national connections, along with a track record of being an innovator myself, could bring strengths to the board as a director. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, moving on to the second question. What is one thing you think the board needs to focus on, and why? Molly?
Okay, so I have 3, but I'm going to tie them all together as pillars that are interconnected. I promise. Mentorship, advocacy, and education. Mentorship is essential to engaging, supporting, and retaining nurses who are entering nephrology, while fostering leadership pathways for those who are already in practice. With strong mentorship programs, we can build a resilient, well-prepared workforce to meet all of the changing healthcare needs. Advocacy role for the nurse is fundamental to ensuring that nurses remain an integral part of dialysis facilities, safeguarding patient safety and delivering high-quality care. Involvement in policy decisions at all levels ensures that our voice is strengthened, further supporting workforce stability and recognition. Given the ongoing shortage of nephrologists, education and support for advancing practice becomes even more critical. The nurses are extremely vital in delivering kidney care and empowering them through education, leadership opportunities, and the capacity of the entire kidney care team. I think all three of those efforts build a framework where mentoring nurtures leadership, advocacy elevates the nurse's role, and education ensures our workforce is skilled and prepared.
Thank you, Molly. Jennifer?
Okay, so one thing that I would like the board to continue to focus on is professional development and its value. I think some nurses perceive the lack of value of joining a professional organization, and I think we need to lean in to see what those barriers could potentially be. I think professional development does strengthen our workforce, and as you know, we're all aging, and so we need to provide uh, educational opportunities, leadership training for our younger nurses and even our LPNs, and be able to give them the education that they need. And that will be a magnet for talent for ANNA. And I think this builds our leadership pipeline, if you will, for future governance. The other thing that with professional development is having our membership understand the return on investment of what it means to have membership, and for us to be able to deliver value consistently builds loyalty to our organization. And lastly, I love what we're doing with our student nursing organizations. That's bringing in people. It's making those nurses aware of what nephrology nursing is. I'd also like to see that expanded to our transplant nurses. We now have a continuing education for them. So going out, getting to those transplant meetings and letting them know that they should be a part of ANNA. We've got the continuing education for them and allow them to be a part of our community and speak to transplant and CKD as a whole with all of us. And I think together that empowers us as an association to be better at what we do. Thank you.
Wonderful, thank you. Louisa, we're going to start with you this go around.
Okay, I agree with Jennifer. I think professional development is huge. I didn't realize how many opportunities are out there until I really started getting into ANNA. And for myself, professional growth, I eventually do want to go back to school and I want to work for my BSN and my MSN. Unfortunately for me, it's not in the cards, but that doesn't mean you can't still keep advancing in what you're doing. Having the opportunity to get on the conferences committee, having the opportunity to run for a distinguished position like this and, work with these amazing people. So trying to put focus on that as well as through networking, because you don't know what you don't know. So I love the fact that we're using more of technology and getting things out there on social media, because we are in a social media age. So really putting that out there and letting people see all of the opportunities and all the advancements that are available to ASNs and ADNs, because once again, you don't know what you don't know. So by putting that information out there and realizing that, yes, you can still do all of these things and making it very user friendly as well. I think that's important too. Being able to go on there and being able to navigate. And I love the changes that they're already making. So helping to advance that and have my voice to try to carry that over, I think would be fantastic.
Thank you. Nakia?
Thank you. So I have two things that I would like to focus on. Molly had mentioned this earlier, but it is mentorship and leadership. I discussed this on the FANNA board committee meeting, to develop some type of track for people who want to go out to be a fellow of ANNA, or want to advance their career anywhere in the nephrology space. Have those resources available, a track that people can follow, mentors in the organization that can help lead them to their desires in their career, professional career, and and personal development. So those are the things that I would like to work on. As Louisa said, you could be anything. It doesn't, matter the degree that you have. We can, develop people wherever they, want to be. So I know we started with LPNs, developing their leadership in the organization. The same can go for RNs, ADNs, MSNs, whatever your desire is. I would like for ANA to focus on having something for those people to develop their leadership skills. Thank you.
Thank you. Leah?
Clicking here, all the clicks. Thank you again. I would like to focus probably a dual thing on membership engagement along with our education innovation. I believe strengthening membership engagement by focusing on education, making it accessible first and foremost, but also innovative. ANA is the professional home for nephrology nurses, and for it to remain strong, every nurse, from a student to a seasoned leader, must feel that belonging to ANA is important, and they need to see the value that they receive in their membership. To me, education is the heart of that value. Nephrology is advancing so rapidly, and nurses are busier than ever. And if we can provide learning that is innovative, practical, and easy to access, we can meet our members right where they are. That not only helps us grow professionally, but also reinforces ANA as the go-to resource for our community. I've seen firsthand how education can fuel engagement, whether you're onboarding a new staff member, presenting curriculum, or making an accessible program. When members feel supported and connected through education, I believe they stay engaged, they invite colleagues to come and join, and then they become the future leaders of our specialty, and we want to foster that development. So focusing on education innovation as a pathway to membership engagement, I think, would be a very important priority, and it would ensure that ANA remains strong, relevant, and the professional home for our members for many years to come. Thank you.
Thank you. Melanie?
Thank you. So a focus area that I feel is really important is to focus on professional development and mentorship. I feel that it would be wonderful if somehow or another we get our name out there, especially with the big dialysis organizations, on all the opportunities that is within ANA. ANA offers so much to nephrology nurses that to learn, to grow, and to become better nurses. I love what ANA has done with the Student Nurses Association. I've had the opportunity to be at 3 of those national nurse conventions to educate those new nurses that nephrology nursing is actually a specialty. A lot of them are not aware of that, and I feel like getting their eyes open of the possibilities of nephrology nursing is very important, that we need to focus there to try and get these nurses or just educate them with the opportunities that are available with ANA. There are so many opportunities to advance, and with our own members to make sure that they are aware of what's out there. The website is phenomenal. They've recently done a lot of updates with the CKD resources, with a lot of new education there. And just, I feel that their awareness of what we have needs to be made to our members, as well as new members, of what's available. It would be what I would love to see the value of a membership be recognized more within companies, large organizations. I feel that there's many nurses out there that are just not aware of ANA, and I feel that that's an area that possibly we could focus on, is to professional development, especially with ANA. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, as we transition into the last set of questions, these are more focused around their specific roles. So we'll start with Molly. Molly, what would you like your legacy to be as president?
I hope that my legacy will be to have more empowered, well-prepared workforce capable of meeting all of the evolving demands of nephrology nurses and improving patient outcomes nationwide. I talked tonight about a few of the goals, specifically with education, support for nephrology nurses who want to advance their practice, for APRNs, and recognizing the critical role that they're going to play in the shortage. And I see all those as tying together by advocating for consistent practice for all of nurses. I aim to improve access to high quality nephrology care for all patients. And I want to add in a little bit of a plug of thank you for the people who came on to listen to us tonight, for coming to hear us. And I really look forward to serving the association and members of ANNA.
Thank you, Molly. Jennifer, describe some financial goals for the association during your term as treasurer.
Thank you. As I mentioned, I'm really fortunate to be having Molly coming on the board as president-elect. I consider her a mentor, and I'm looking forward to build on the work that she has done over the last 2.5 years. Obviously, my main goal should be the financial health of the organization and to continue funding our strategic plan. So how do we do this? One way, obviously, is to continue to figure out how to expand membership. And another way is to continue to expand industry support and partnerships. These national partnerships provide additional funding and allow us to continue to influence both practice and policy. Um, I also want us to empower our members through financial transparency. As nurses, we trust, we value trust. And as treasurer, I hope that we can promote transparency, trust, and accountability. I think members value how their membership dues are being spent and how we support programs that benefit all of us, and ensure that the financial decisions reflect the needs of all nephrology nurses in all settings. I realize I have a lot to learn, and I'm eager to learn and be able to continue to grow ANNA financially. And I thank you for this opportunity tonight and for you all coming on to listen to all of us. And again, I wish you all a happy Nephrology Nurses Week. Thank you.
Thanks, Jennifer. Okay, for the directors, why should a member vote for you as director of ANNA? And this time we'll start with Melanie.
Thank you. So why should a member vote for me? Well, I am one of you. I am passionate about nephrology nursing, and I am absolutely passionate about ANNA. I have spent many, many years serving ANNA, and this is another opportunity for me to serve. I will listen. I will listen to what you have to say, and I will carry it back to the board, and I'll relay the message. I have the skills, the knowledge, and also the past experience to represent all of you as a good representation of you. Thank you.
Okay. Leah.
Thank you again. I would like to receive your vote as director. I do believe I bring experience and vision, but also a deep commitment to the field of nephrology, as well as to ANNA and all of the nursing members. Over the past 24 years, I've helped lead care for tens of thousands of patients, built a team focused around filling in the gaps of care for our patients, creating curriculum, broadening my skills by serving and volunteering at multiple national levels. And I think these opportunities have given me a wide network and a strategic perspective that I could bring to the board for ANNA. But most importantly, I understand that the role of a director is to govern, but to listen and to ensure that the strategic plan is advanced. My focus would be to help ANA remain strong in education, in advocacy, in our networking, in science, while doing our best to keep members engaged and valued at the center of all of that. I would bring proven leadership, my national connections, and a passion for mentoring the next generation of nurses. And I would use all of that to strengthen ANNA, amplify our voice, and prepare for the future. It would be my honor to represent you as one of the directors on the board. Thank you so much for listening tonight, and I hope you all have a great rest of your National Nephrology Nurses Week. Thank you.
Thanks, Leah. Nikia?
Thank you all again. So I believe the future at ANA is bright. I think it requires leadership that is both grounded in history and forward thinking. I'm ready to bring my passion to the National Board, my experience and dedication. I want to continue to elevate our nephrology practice for all the nephrology nurses in our organizations, and even the ones who are not a part of our organization, for them to come on board and join us. I'm a firm believer in the education of our members and as well as the community. So those would be the things that I will focus on: our membership, our practice elevation, and just excelling all our nurses in the nephrology realm.
Thank you. Louisa?
You know, it's a tough decision because I have to say every single person on this panel that's running is absolutely amazing. But why I feel like you should vote for me is I'm passionate about what I do. I'm thankful for American Nephrology Nurses Association. And at the end of the day, I want to be a voice for you. And I want feedback. I want you to talk to me and tell me how you feel about things, because even though we might feel small, together we can be huge and we can have a very loud voice. And I want to help be that voice for you. I feel like once again, having a passion and expelling that passion to other people, I think is very important. Putting that information out there, once again, please talk to me. Let me know how you're feeling. Give me your feedback, whether it's good or bad, right? It's not always good. So how do we know how to fix things unless you tell us? So that is important. I think we need to know where we can do better. There's always opportunities. And once again, knowing that, you know, we can always advance, we can always help people advance. And once again, I can be a prime example that, you know, you can keep going, even though you may not be exactly where you want to be as far as in your education, you can still keep pushing that envelope and seeing how far you can go. So thank you so much. And once again, I didn't get to say it to anybody, but happy Nurses Week.
Thank you. All right, we have come to the end of the questions that we had planned on asking the candidates. And with that, Sharon, I think we maybe only have one question. Is that right?
Yes, we only have one question, and that is, our membership continues to decline. Why do you feel this is, and how would you help increase this? So I know, Jennifer, you specifically mentioned this, so maybe you would like to start and answer that question.
Sure. So that's a great question, by the way. And I did allude to this. I think we really need to look at some barriers. And I think some of the perceived barriers would be that some nurses don't perceive the value of joining a professional organization. And so I think we need to really look into why. And the other potential barriers could be lack of time, limited awareness of the benefits that we have to offer. And again, I think it goes back to how I mentioned return on investment. They need to know where their membership dues are going, what value does it bring to them, and encourage them to join always. Like we are on, I'm at a meeting right now and I'm like, you need to join ANA. It gives you great resources. So, but I think we do have to spend some time with our membership to really dig into what those barriers are and how we can overcome those barriers. So that's my perception on why I think membership is down. So thank you.
Molly, do you want to give a shot at answering this question about the membership declining and how you would
Sure.
help?
I would echo probably everything Jennifer said. I mean, no doubt we have to potentially change what we do in telling people the benefit and how the cost is worth it to them, because professional association membership has not been a priority for the last generation following, and it's all of the things that she said. It's lack of time. People think that they can't do one more thing in their day. The work days are long, and then to also then go to a meeting is difficult. So we have to do a better job of explaining the value of what we're doing. I think we may end up needing to do some things different in terms of how we package what we do, and we get them in, and then they know they want to be a part of this. That's my hope, is that we bring them in with other stuff, and then they want to be here.
Okay, thank you. We have one other question from Karen. We have tried to reach nurses in transplantation for years. Do you have innovative strategies how we might approach this? I'm not sure who might want to take a shot at answering this, but go ahead, please.
Why don't we give the directors an opportunity to answer this, and you'll each have about a minute and a half to answer. So we could start again back at the top with Leah.
Going. Sorry about that. So I think reaching transplant nurses has been a challenge, because I think sometimes there's not an identification with the broader, transplant. It's like a smaller section within our community. And so I do think that we need to show them, as we have done with the specific, education that we're giving now, that they're valued. And that they can find that here. They don't have to go to the Transplant Congress meeting and so if we bridge that education, creating sessions and webinars and modules that highlight their specific role and how we integrate their role into transplant's really with all of us, whether you're a transplant specific nurse or not, showing them that, collaborate, giving more visibility, partnering again with transplant organizations with joint sessions or maybe some shared initiatives. And then we can really help focus maybe on their career development and continuing to spread inside of that community, since they can be small and maybe sometimes specialized even where they work, and then they come into this broader organization and everything feels small. So giving them a place for more mentorship and networking that may not be in their immediate workplace. Thank you.
Thank you. Nikia, you want to give a shot at this?
Yes, so I would agree with what Leah said and some of our other previous speakers. So people they want to see value in their membership and what their money is paying for. So recently, this past year, in my chapter, we started doing PowerPoint presentations at our education dinner meetings to talk about the benefits of ANA. We've had a lot of people become members off of those presentations, because people don't know what they don't know. So I feel the same thing with our transplant nurses. If maybe some of the local chapters can, again, like Leah said, partner with the transplant programs, try to reach those nurses. I've done cold calling before our chapter did cold calling, inviting people to our, meetings. So maybe that could be a thing. But I think those nurses want to see value for their membership. So if the organization had other things to offer, or more things that they consider valuable for their career, um, and their advancement, then I think we can maybe attract those people.
Thank you. Melanie?
It's not letting me turn on my video, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
Oh.
Go ahead. You speak. We can hear you
So I
fine.
would like to echo what has been said by the previous candidates. I do feel that this is an opportunity for an area for growth with the transplant. Like they had mentioned, I echo that it is a very small specialty, not a lot of representation or a lot of transplant areas out there. I do feel that they need to be made aware of that every one of our sessions, there is a transplant education center or session specifically for those transplant nurses. I feel it is an opportunity and perhaps maybe locally collaborating with transplant centers on local chapter members on what their needs are and how we best feel could serve them. And maybe that could help bridge the gap to get them inside ANNA, to let them realize the value of being a member of ANNA. Thank you.
Thank you. Louisa?
Once again, echoing pretty much what previous was said, I think networking is huge. Trying to reach out to find experts in the field. Once again, serving on the conferences committee, a lot of time is spent trying to nail down those small little specialties that are within nephrology, and transplant always seems to be one of the ones that we struggle with just a little bit. Just trying to find somebody that is an expert that wants to come and speak and kind of, answering the previous question as far as why membership is down. It is a struggle. It's a huge struggle when we do these summits and these conferences to try to find something for everyone, because when somebody is paying this money to go to these events, we want to make sure that it gets the biggest, the most impactful that they can do and that we can provide. And we really do spend a lot of time going through the feedback and listening to what nurses say that they want for the next conference or the next summit, because it is expensive. And coming from Alaska and going to these conferences, if I didn't have my company, it would be very, very difficult to do. So that is another thing that I think we can work on. And there's an opportunity to where we can expand to where when people come, they feel like everything got hit. They got to hear about transplant. They got to hear about home therapies. They got to hear about acutes. They got to hear about pediatrics. So thank you.
Thank you. All right. We have 3 minutes left. We were able to get in 2 questions, and I think that's all I see in the chat. So I'd like to thank all of the candidates for their time and your transparency and honesty. It's been a really wonderful hour. I hope everybody that listens to this will take something away. And again, happy Nephrology Nurses Week to everybody. You all are amazing. Nephrology nursing has given me my best friends and a lot of education and a lot of knowledge, and most of all, a lot of peace. So I wish you all a very good evening. And with that, we'll close. Thank you.